Hi, and welcome to Be Your Own Best Coach Conversations, where you can learn to shift your mindset, change your behavior, and do more stuff you care about. I'm Glen Lubbert, one of the co-founders of Be Your Own Best Coach, a 5-week group coaching program. And I'm here with my colleague and fellow co-founder, Dr. Deborah Teplow. Hi, Deborah.
Hey, Glen.
So today I want to talk about don'ts versus do's. Our brain doesn't hear the don'ts, which is fascinating. Can you explain more about that and how we can use the do language for behavior change?
Oh, would I love to do that or what? Yes. So one of the biggest problems, and there are a lot of big problems, about how we go about thinking about change is that we focus on what we don't want, right? I mean, we change in response to something that isn't working, that causes us pain or discomfort or distress or whatever. And so we think, oh, I don't want to be stressed out. I don't want to be, this fat. I don't want to be, I don't want to keep losing my temper. Whatever it is, it's what we don't want. And we say, okay, well, I do want to eat healthier. So that means I'm not going to eat pie. So I won't eat pie. I won't do this. So those are don'ts and wants, or don'ts and won'ts. That we can think of a good title for that, the don'ts and the won'ts. The problem is that our brain doesn't know a don't. It doesn't know a won't. I mean, take the case of pie. And I use that because, decades ago, maybe in the early 70s, there was a book called Diets Don't Work. And it's been proven many, many, many times in different disciplines, this idea that the brain doesn't respond to don't. Because with the idea of diets don't work is that self-statement, don't eat pie, don't eat pie. You have a beautiful, what's it called, lemon meringue pie in the refrigerator. Don't eat it, don't eat it. Well, your mouth has never tasted a don't. Your nose has never smelled a don't. You've never seen a don't, but you have smelled, tasted, seen, all of that with that delicious lemon meringue pie. So every time you're saying, don't eat the pie, don't eat the pie, don't eat the pie, your brain, your body is hearing pie, pie, pie. And it gets louder and louder as you say, don't do this, don't do this. And so guess what we're compelled to do? We're compelled to eat pie.
To eat the pie, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're saying that don't eat the pie, you're basically prompting yourself, correct, over and over and over to eat the pie.
Totally, absolutely, totally prompting yourself to do it. Yeah, absolutely. And so our brain, focuses. It's a kind of an attention, magnet. If you think, just say, don't look at the clock. What immediately came to your mind?
Oh goodness, I just looked at my watch actually.
Yeah, or if you did, if you don't wear a watch, you immediately thought a clock. And so you're programming yourself to, you're programming your mind to attend to what is present, not what isn't present. And so when we're trying to change our behavior, our thoughts, whatever, change something, we have to move from don't and won't to what we want instead. And if there's one powerful word that we want to share with you today, it's the word instead. So what do you want instead? I don't want to feel so tired. What do you want to do instead? I don't want to lose my temper. What do you want to do instead? Don't eat pie. Okay. What will you, in this case, maybe eat instead? So it's really important to frame the actions that you want to take in the positive, the presence of what you want versus the absence of what you don't want.
Oh, that's so powerful. That knowing what you want instead is really then prompting your brain for that instead, rather than the don't.
Yeah. Now I have to warn you that we're so problem oriented and oriented to, the pain, and take the pain away, whether it's, whatever pain it is, even if it's a messy, kitchen counter, I hate this kitchen counter. I wish it were, I don't like it. I wish it were different. What do you want instead? We aren't thinking of what we want instead. So often it's hard for people to think, oh, I know I don't want to be stressed out, but what do I want? And so just know that we aren't oriented to thinking what we do want, and yet that's where the real gold is. So give yourself permission, take teeny weeny steps, and ask yourself, okay, let's say I didn't lose my temper anymore. What would I notice myself doing instead? When my kid was throwing a tantrum and I'm not losing my temper anymore, what am I doing instead to respond? Or,
Right.
go.
Or yeah, or you're feeling overwhelmed from your email inbox. What do I want instead here? Which gets you more into the focus of being more organized or productive, that type of thing. So that what I really heard out of that was struck me was the fact that we aren't oriented. Our brain isn't oriented to look at what we want instead. That's something we have to consciously do. Correct?
Absolutely, because we just want to get out of pain or distress, and
Mm,
so we're not often thinking. I mean, that is, that's just that immediate emotional reaction. Get me out of here, and we
hmm.
aren't necessarily applying um, thinking about what do I want instead. And often we don't give ourselves permission to do that, and that's one thing that is better for us to do, and it takes training.
Right. So if that's something you want to be able to practice. You have to practice that catching yourself when you're in that don't or won't thinking
Yeah,
to what you would do instead. And that's interesting and powerful, and I think a fantastic and great place for us to wrap up on do's versus don'ts. Thank you, Deborah, and thank you everyone for listening. I want to let everyone know to check out beyourownbestcoach.com, where you can find out more information about our 5-week group coaching program. Listeners of Be Your Own Best Coach Conversations can take 10% off enrollment costs using the keyword conversations. Thanks again for listening, and stay well.